The Mavs get rocked tonight by Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll discuss it coming up next on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. What's up? It's the DLLS Mavs postgame show live in our downtown Dallas DLLS Sports Studios. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Curler. We, of course, are DLLS Mavs. Your favorite guys covering your favorite team, even when they get rocked by Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, James Harden, and the Cleveland Cavaliers as the Mavericks suffered their third 30-point loss of the season. They lose 138-105 at the AAC, dropping to 22-45 on the year. Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and James Harden combining for 70 of the buck 38 that the Cavs dropped tonight. Cooper Flagg with a bounce-back game tonight with 25 points, 13 of which coming in the third quarter. We'll discuss that over the course of the next hour here. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on this Friday night. Here on DLLS Sports, we'll be joined by our DLLS Mavs beat writer, Harrod Jr., a little bit later on in our show. Plus, we'll discuss what does the NBA think of the current NBA draft class as we get ready to head into Selection Sunday and the NCAA tournament kicking off later next week. Bobby Corella, your big takeaway from tonight is?
Two teams went out there wearing different colored jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran around for a little bit.
They did.
And at the end of the game, one was declared a winner, and the other was declared the loser.
That's right.
And they're going to do it again on Saturday. Saturday's game,
Sunday,
too. It's just
Sunday. We don't have to,
Sunday. Well, basically Saturday. 2 p.m. on the, it's just game one, folks. All right. Adjustments will be made. The Mavs are going to bounce back. They're going to be fine. I still am taking them in the series. I think they're going to be able to pull it out. Probably at this point, probably now in 7.
In dramatic fashion, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, if you're watching this, you are a sicko and you need help. Respectfully. You need help because it is either Friday night and you're hanging out with us, and I am eternally grateful, or it's Saturday morning. Maybe you're doing chores around the house. You got us on your Spotify or iTunes, or maybe you're just, lounging. You got us on your TV or your second monitor or your phone or whatever. You need help. You really do need help. That said, I hope to see you again on Sunday at around 5 to 5:30 p.m. Central Time, because I have a feeling it's going to be just as ugly as it was tonight, if not worse.
Shout out to Evan, who double-checked and said that Jason Kidd is now 1-8 against the Cavs as head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, tonight was a good old-fashioned ass-whooping. Again. The Cavs are in a position right now where they are trying to secure a top 4 spot and home court advantage in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and James Harden handled business like a good professional team is supposed to do against a very bad basketball team, a Mavericks team that was already missing P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford tonight, who was resting after 4 straight double-doubles. And the Mavericks offensively just really didn't have it. Shot rather poorly in this game, despite the fact that Ryan Nembhard was starting at point guard. We'll get to Cooper Flagg and his bounce-back game here as the show goes on, because he started to get a lot more aggressive, especially in that third quarter. But, yeah, in this league, the old adage is, as boiled is down to, it's a make-or-miss league. And one team shot 61.5% from the field. The other team didn't even clear 40% from the field, I believe, as I check notes. That would be, yeah. So, yeah, the Cavaliers dominated in the paint, scored over 70 points in the paint. Evan Mobley got started in the first quarter. In fact, scored 16 points in the first quarter, and the Mavericks turned the ball over way too much in this game. And just to check notes to make sure I'm correct, they shot 43%, did the Mavericks from the field. So they barely cleared 40% tonight. But the Mavericks had no answer for Evan Mobley, who just dominated in the paint tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have an answer for Donovan Mitchell or for James Harden either, or for Keon Ellis at times, or for Schroeder, or for any of these guys. I mean, they got distracted. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something interesting to say about this.
Let's talk about Cooper Flagg. Let's talk about Cooper Flagg.
Coop was good.
Yeah, let's talk about
Coop was good. Vibe check. Come on. Good game from Coop. He had 25.
He did have 25, shot 50% from the field, had 5 assists as well in this game. I thought had 6 points in the first half, really got more aggressive in that third quarter there, starting to get downhill, actually made a 3 in that third quarter as well. And it was good to see him start to get some of his legs under him a little bit. He's been struggling since he's come back from that left midfoot sprain. And really that third quarter was the one where it's like, oh, this is the Cooper Flagg that we've come to grow and love during his rookie year, where he's finishing at the rim. He's getting to the free throw line, had the nice poster dunk in that quarter as well. That, Bobby, looked like the Cooper Flagg that we've seen for a lot of his rookie years so far.
Yeah, coming out of the gate, Najee was the one that, was taking a lot of the shots early.
Yeah.
He posted last night that he lost his mojo.
That's right.
With one of those like sad sort of downtrodden emojis. And with your eyebrows, I don't know how to describe it. Your eyebrows kind of like this. And,
yeah, it's kind of a sad.
Yeah, just sort of sad, and so he came out aggressive, got off to a good start. And then he cooled off pretty considerably, and Coop took over in the third. Now, the interesting thing about this game is that J-Kid went with Nembhard starting a point guard as opposed to Coop or nominally Max Christie or Najee or whoever. So it was like a real kind of proper lineup. Nembhard, Max, Coop, Najee, and Marvin Bagley. Gafford was out, obviously. And so, kind of a new look for the Mavs. Offensively, they got off to a decent start in the first half. But, yeah, in the third, Coop was really aggressive. I think he scored, 11 points?
13.
13?
Yeah.
Had that sequence where it was, I forget exactly the order that it happened in, but there was like a kind of like a regular schmegular dunk. He hit a 3, and then he had like a pretty powerful dunk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a while since he's thrown down like a kind of an authoritative dunk. Obviously, he's dealing with the foot thing. Every time you leap off that, it's going to hurt. Every time you land on that, it's going to hurt. And nothing hurts quite like jumping to dunk on someone.
Yeah.
But the fact that he like trusted himself enough to do that, he jumped from like the semicircle underneath the free throw line. So that's what, like 10 feet or something. The fact that he soared from there
off 2 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. That was good to see. I mean, it feels like he's maybe getting a little more confidence back. But yeah, I liked him looking to shoot, which is why I like Nembhard out there with him, because Nembhard can do all the stuff and then just give it to Coop in a position he wants the ball. And, next thing you know, it means good things for him and for everybody else on the floor.
Yeah, him being off the ball and allowing to be a guy that plays off of a true point guard. I mean, Bobby's laid out the numbers, quite beautifully over the last, couple of weeks as far as the effectiveness of having someone who can organize offense and what that does for Cooper Flagg in his game and his ability to be a lot more comfortable, within the offense. And you saw that more tonight for him. So, yeah, I mean, he struggled at times when he's been on the ball. There's times where he's had good moments. But when he's been most effective is when he's been able to really get downhill, make things happen, and be aggressive off of other guys, getting him into the right positions and take advantage of that. So, we'll see what that continues to look like for the remainder of the season in the final, 15, 16 games, and how Jason Kidd continues to tinker with the lineup.
I hope he sticks with it, honestly. Because, I mean, like, let's be real. Kyrie is a much better player than Ryan Nembhard will probably ever be. And he moves kind of like Brandon Williams, but can pass sort of like Nembhard, but also he looks for a shot in ways and in spots that neither of those guys do. And so no one that Coop plays with for the rest of the year is going to be even a close approximation to what he'll have with Kyrie next year. But there is nothing at this point to be gained from him bringing the ball up the floor every time.
Yeah.
Other than turnovers and frustration and looking for fouls. Like, he got really frustrated last night. Was last night the game he picked up the tech, or was it the night before?
It was the night before, yeah.
Yeah, and then, in the first half tonight, it looked like he was on route to picking up a tech. He was just really frustrated, but if you just have anyone out there that can just make it a little bit easier for him, then mentally, emotionally, and physically, this will probably be a smoother end of the season for him, while also getting him used to, accustomed to, and ready for spending a lot of his minutes next year on the court playing next to a guy that is going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to have to play off the ball a lot more next year than he is this year. And so it's like, might as well just get used to that, get ready for that. Also, the Pelicans would come back to take the lead.
Yeah, we have some drama unfolding in
Dude,
Houston
let's
tonight.
go!
As the New Orleans Pelicans have taken a 2-point lead with a minute left after a Jabari Smith goaltending.
That's what we need, man.
So
that's what we need.
Of course, the Pelicans at 22-45 on the year. The Mavericks also now at 22-45 after 67 games. Draft position prioritization is on the docket as we continue to watch the rest of these games going forward. A little bit later on in the show, we'll talk a little bit about what the NBA thinks of this particular NBA draft class and some of the things that folks are hearing about guys like Keaton Wagler, Darren Peterson, A.J. DeBonsa, and others, and what that looks like as they get ready to head into the NCAA tournament. We had drama in the Big 12 tournament tonight. Jaden Bradley hit a game winner for Arizona to send them to the Big 12 tournament final on Sunday. They will meet the winner of tonight's other semifinal between Kansas and Houston. So you got a little Kingston Flemings versus Darren Peterson action happening in Kansas City. So some good college hoops happening as it's a conference tournament weekend as they get ready for the NCAA tournament this coming weekend. So we'll keep tabs on what's happening in the Houston and Pelicans game as that game continues to wind down. R. King says we should be watching this Houston versus Kansas game. I mean, we did a whole watch along where we watched the college basketball game and the Mavericks and the Grizzlies the other night. Or I guess that was last night.
We will be watching March Madness too. We're gonna have some watch alongs next week for opening weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice. Looking forward to it.
If you want to do it, you can. But it's like DLLS. It's part of the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Kat said she was gonna hop on. We're just gonna put a camera up there and push the button.
Yeah.
And whoever wants to come on.
Okay.
We have daytime shows, I think.
I think we have a couple. Next week.
Yeah, so it's mostly just if you want to stick around after, go upstairs. Hey, DeBonsa's on. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, so that'll be a good time. That'll be on Thursday and Friday.
Okay, looking forward to that. Under a minute left in Houston. Pelicans still lead by 2, 102-100. So
Carlo Matkovic just got a rebound. 48 seconds to go.
Yeah,
dude, this would be massive. Also, a loss. The Rockets would be just, one game or half a game ahead of 7th?
Phoenix lost tonight, so they'll still be comfortably in the top 6. But yeah, the Western Conference right now, coming into today, seeds 3 through 7, separated by a grand total of 2 games. So losses.
It's a mess out there.
It's a mess, yeah, in the seeds 3 through 7. So there's going to be some really important games over the next couple of weeks. I mean, the Lakers are playing the Rockets twice. They play the Nuggets on tomorrow night. So those teams in that 3 through 7 are going to be playing each other quite a bit, as apparently the Pelicans have now.
There's a foul. Yeah, someone shooting free throws.
So Zion.
Oh, my God. Zion put him up 4. There's 31 seconds to go. So a win would put the Pelicans I don't know the terminology, ahead or behind.
Behind the Mavericks.
The Mavs would be a half game clear of the Pelicans in 6th in the lottery
That's
standings. Right. And they also play, on Tuesday?
Monday.
Monday. Oh, my God. I got to figure out my dang days, dude.
Sunday, Monday, back-to-back.
That's right, another back-to-back.
Yeah, my brain is just turning into mashed potatoes this time of year.
104, 103 now.
Oh, no.
Who hit a 3? Good gracious. That changed quick. Good gracious. So drama happening in Houston. By the time we come back from our first break here,
I'm too distracted.
You are, yeah, you are. No, it's fine. We're about to go to break.
Why should I be doing my job when I can just?
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
It's fine.
Pelicans Rockets game.
It's fine. Pelicans.
This is important. This is more important than the shit.
The Pelicans called timeout with 15 seconds left as they're up by 104-103.
Free throw shooting contest.
Jabari Smith hit a 3. Oh wow. Okay. Let's take our first break here on the DLS Mavs postgame show. When we come back, how do things finish up in Houston? Plus, later on in our show, what the NBA is saying about the top NBA draft prospects heading into the tournament. All that more coming up next.
Sling TV is one of the most flexible ways to watch TV. I use Sling myself, but if you don't, well, here this month, right now, is the best time to check it out because obviously the college basketball tournaments are coming. Both the men's and women's tournaments are getting fired up here in the next week or so, and Sling is offering 1, 3, or 7-day pass options. That means instant access to live TV for the men's and women's tournaments. You can get a day pass starting at just $4.99. and you can watch a ton of games. The action isn't going to stop. And here's the fun part. If a 12 through 16 seed makes it all the way to the round of 16, then every single person that signed up for any pass gets a day pass to use at any other point in the tournament for just $1. So let's root for the underdogs together. Go to sling.com/underdog. Live TV your way. Learn more at sling.com/underdog. Again, sling.com/underdog. No purchase required. To learn more and see full rules, visit sling.com/underdog today.
You know that moment where you leave your favorite pair of sunglasses on the roof of your car, or in 3 states over, or on the beach after having a good time? Yeah, I know. I've been there too. But with Shady Rays, they've got your back. With Shady Rays, they've got glasses that are made for real life. They're seriously good looking, polarized, durable, and they're not stupidly expensive either. In fact, with Shady Rays, if you lose or break them on day one, they'll send you a guilt-free replacement. No charge at all. They'll take care of you. Just free replacements, and they'll be able to take care of you on your pair of favorite sunglasses when it comes to Shady Rays. Shady Rays, of course, is the eyewear that always has your back. So now you can feel good about anytime you wear your sunglasses anywhere that you go and not worry about having to break them or lose them. So with Shady Rays, head to shadyrays.com. Use code SRDLLS for 40% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. Again, head to shadyrays.com. Use code SRDLLS for 40% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses with Shady Rays today. Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs postgame show. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us here on our show tonight as the Mavericks get destroyed 138-105 as
Oh my God, DeJounte stepped out of bounds.
Oh no.
Rockets ball, 13 seconds to go. Murray just stepped out of bounds.
Oh no. That's what you get for taunting folks like that, man. Basketball guys don't like that. Or as MG2920 says in his best Danhausen voice, you are cursed.
God, so now we all need Kevin Durant to miss a shot.
Oh,
that's
a hell of a way to
that is
live.
Not an easy thing. Yeah. God. It was a foul, no call. Can they challenge? They can't challenge probably though, right?
I love how the chat is so locked into every play that's happening.
No one cares about the game that just happened.
Like, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's just, but yeah. Like,
we really should change the thumbnail to just like KD and DeJounte. Yeah. Call it the DLLS match.
And then Kingston and Darren.
Yeah,
Peterson.
Darren Peterson. Yeah.
We'll talk about those.
Speaking of Houston, yeah.
So Houston called timeout, so we got another minute or so to talk about the basketball or whatever.
Right. Well, let's talk about who is going to be joining the NBA later this summer and into next season. Of course, this is one of the most anticipated draft classes in recent memory, with the names of A.J. Debonsa, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson, Cameron Boozer, Kingston Flemings, Mikael Brown, Darius Acuff, Keaton Wagler. Take your pick of your favorite college basketball player this year, and they have a potential to be in the top 10. And ESPN put out a really interesting piece today discussing the NBA intel on what execs and scouts in the NBA think of some of the more high-profile prospects coming into this year's draft. We all have our own opinions, Bobby, on all of these players as we've been more locked in on college basketball, at least for me, in recent memory than I ever have been, just because not only the nature of the season, but just this draft class is so tantalizing as it is coming into this year.
Yeah, and the Mavs are very bad. So, odds are they're going to get a good pick. And this is a good draft to have. Well, it's a great draft to have a great pick in, but it's also a good draft to have a good pick in. Last year, for example, if the Mavs would have been picking 6th or 7th or 8th, I don't think we would have been as excited. Yeah. Although it turns out that the top really 4 of last year's draft ended up being really good. And obviously, as time goes on, probably another 15 or 20 players will establish themselves, long-time vets and all that.
Yeah.
But, if you're gonna be first in the draft, it might as well have been last year. And if you're gonna be 6th in the draft, it might as well be this year. Because there's a lot more guys this year, it seems like.
This coming from Tim Bontemps and Brian Windhorst of ESPN as they talk to various executive scouts across both conferences in the NBA. One Eastern Conference scout said, quote, "We're so interested in this draft because it's so deep. There's a lot of impact players." Another scout in the West said, quote, "And the 2027 draft isn't looking so good. You never know. There are players in every draft, but this year is like a, quote, double draft.
Houston scored.
Oh, did they really?
7.6 seconds to go.
Who scored?
I don't know. It hasn't updated yet.
Okay. Of course, the Pelicans trying to steal a win on the road while the Rockets trying to hang on in H-Town tonight. So that kind of gives you an idea of how teams are feeling about this type of draft class, with one person saying it feels like a double draft with the amount of prospects that are available.
Of course, it was KD.
I mean, that's part of why, Cooper reclassified, maybe in part to stand out a little more in a class that wasn't as good. I mean, and also to seek a better challenge or whatever kind of PR, like, myth building you want to use. But, like, you might as well skip a year and stand out among the guys that aren't as good as you, and also get that money earlier. I'm surprised more people don't do that.
And I think that's I think Cooper Flagg still probably would have went one in this draft class as well.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, it was a lot easier to go one last year.
For sure. And at least from a monetary perspective, get to that second contract as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
While you're as young as you can. So the battle for number one remains a two-player race. Now, of course, most folks have Darren Peterson projected to go number one, but A.J. DeBonta going number two, depending on how you feel about both of these players. One person saying of Darren Peterson, this is a power conference general manager, said of Peterson, quote, "As gifted of a scorer as it comes, the wiggle, the aggressiveness, he comes in and takes over games. The NBA guys are working to get the insight on the injuries, but he's worth the headache or two." This according to a NBA GM. When it comes to the idea of A.J. DeBonta, quote, "He's got all the tools. He's a dynamic scorer who will put up points in the NBA right away," a veteran executive in the East said. So that kind of gives you an idea. Oh, no, Houston won.
Zion Williamson out of bounds, bad pass, turnover.
Oh, so it's over. It is.
Well,
over.
7 seconds left still, or 6 seconds left. So,
and Houston's got the ball.
Play the foul game.
Okay.
2 straight turnovers for that team. 2. They didn't even get a shot. DeJounte out of bounds. Zion out of bounds.
Apparently, someone said Dorian Finney-Smith just tackled Herb Jones, and there was no call in that game.
Good for Dorian, though, honestly.
But yeah, what do you think about those two quotes there? The first one discussing Darren Peterson, where one general manager said he's, quote, worth a headache or two.
Yeah, I don't put a lot of stock into what GMs say, honestly. Let's think back to 2018. Leading up to the draft, the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, Donnie Nelson, in every single interview he gave, said Ayton is the clear number one in this class. It's not even close.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And
yes, Donnie Nelson knew exactly what he was doing. So I just don't really, maybe that guy really does believe that he's worth the headache. Maybe he doesn't believe he's worth the headache. Maybe he doesn't believe that he's a headache. I don't know what to believe.
So you're saying it's lion season already?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's all that. I mean, everyone is going to try and, inflate guys that they don't think are as good and deflate guys that they think are really good.
Sure.
It wouldn't surprise me if there were a ton of GMs that were like, dude, Darren Peterson's going to be the most talented player in the NBA 5 years from now. I also have no idea about what his medicals are. I watch A.J. DeBonta play and think any GM that covets size and length is probably going to look at that guy and say, holy smokes, that guy could be the next KD. 6'10", 6'11", long, can shoot from anywhere, athletic, or he kind of like moves like Shea, but has range and has the height and the bounce and everything. He could be a 30-point per game scorer one day on the wing, which is really valuable. So I don't know. Using the word headache, though, just that like sets off my little alarm.
Another Eastern Conference executive said of A.J. DeBonta, I think DeBonta is the easy number one. He's special. There's just so much for him to still grow into. There you go.
Pelicans game over. Murray made the first free throw, missed the second one. Trey Murphy got the rebound, but missed.
And
at the buzzer. Missed a 3-pointer at the buzzer to win the game.
There you go.
So the Rockets win, Pelicans lose. Ugh.
Sets up a showdown on Monday between these two teams, the Mavericks and the Pelicans. Another Eastern Conference executive said of A.J. DeBonta, he's the easiest one to see how he gets to number. Let me say it again. He's the easiest one to see how he gets to number one, but the game doesn't come quite as easy to him like it does some of the truly great players, end quote, says the Eastern Conference executive. DeBonta is probably going to be our number one, a West Scout said, but it isn't settled. So that just gives you, again, more statements on kind of the debates that teams are having between DeBonta and Peterson. And I think based off of, understanding what these comments are saying, teams feel like Peterson is ready to go right now, while there's still some things for DeBonta to still be able to grow into, which may give him the higher upside and maybe the future for a team to take him number one and feel good about it.
I don't know. Them all saying that DeBonta's good and should be number one has me feeling pretty nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm standing by my take.
Oh, why?
I'm standing by my take.
Oh, I want to know more. Why?
Well, they didn't mention Cam Boozer at all, and the only person to mention Darren Peterson called him a headache. So I just don't I don't believe anything in that article. I just don't believe any of their quotes. It's all agenda stuff. So I'm curious if they're all trying to say, man, if you get the number one pick, you should take DeBonta because odds are we'll be 2 or 3 and we can get Boozer or Peterson.
Another one when it comes to Darren Peterson said, quote, talent-wise, he's clearly number one, an East Scout said. He's got the full package. When he's played, he's shown that he has the quote-unquote it factor when it comes to Peterson.
Scouts have fewer reasons to lie.
Yeah, and a number of these quotes have come from scouts with respect to this. You get to a clash for number 3. In Carolina, of course, you've got Caleb Wilson in North Carolina. You've got Cameron Boozer at Duke, who I've said I feel like Cameron Boozer of the 4 is probably the safest one because you kind of know what you're getting with Cam Boozer. Obviously, the talent with Peterson is tantalizing, but Cameron Boozer comes from obviously the kind of pedigree that he does with his father, who was an all-star at one point in his career, and of course has been a winner at Duke so far. Folks saying of Boozer, for example, so, quote, this is an Eastern Conference executive, I think there's a top 3 and a case for any of them. Boozer has always been the best player at every level, and that can help overcome some of his athletic questions. I would just say to trust the ultra-high level feel guys to figure it out. So that gives you an idea a little bit on Boozer. No, go ahead.
Not great if you're just talking about feel.
Well, he was saying that they feel like with his feel that they'll figure it out. Like he'll figure it out. Another NBA executive said Boozer's resume should be enough to curb any trepidation around the league. You can focus on what he doesn't have compared to the other guys in terms of athleticism or whatever. An Eastern Conference assistant general manager said, but, quote, he's a winner, and he's been a winner at every level, and he's won everything he's touched this year, which, again, to the point of what I just made, yeah, he's a winner. When it comes to Caleb Wilson, someone said, quote, he was a kid in high school who wanted the ball in his hands, wanted to be a point power forward, but he didn't have a motor or toughness to him, a rival ACC coach said of Wilson. Since he's got to Carolina, though, his care factor and toughness has really stood out and gone to the next level.
Yeah, he just plays like a maniac.
Yeah. He's got a lot of want to.
Yeah.
He got a lot of want to.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, now, do you have the skill to complement that? Because you could just go out there and play hard and be the 5th best player on the floor for your team all the time and have a really long career, but is that worth a top 5 pick? But if you couple that with skill, with a little bit of touch, with a little bit of production or a lot of bit of production, then you're talking about like a upper echelon player in the league.
Yeah.
And that's why there are some people that say that Caleb Wilson might end up being the best player in this class.
Yeah, which is still a lot of upside for him too. Of course, averaging over 19 points per game, over 9 rebounds. Of course, his season is over with the hand injuries that he has suffered late in the season. Another one saying of Caleb Wilson, quote, He's so raw, and there's a ton of upside there, an Eastern Conference executive said. I can easily see him becoming a top 3 player in this draft. I think Cam already has an NBA body, but Caleb has a lot more room to grow, kind of to your point about what he can still do once he gets to this level. Coming up, as we finish up our show today, we're going to have Ron coming on in our next segment. I don't want to not talk about what they have discussed when it comes to the guards, because you have those top 4 players, then you've got all of these talented guards that have a chance to make an impact, especially getting to the NCAA tournament. There's some interesting things about those guys as well that could have some interest for you, obviously, when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, and if you want to see them take a guard in this draft. But coming up next, we'll talk to our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harrod Jr. live from the American Airlines Center. We'll do that next. The NCAA tournament is coming up, and I know that you're going to be having your watch parties with your friends, watching your favorite college basketball players as they try to win a national championship. And you got to have some great food to go along with it. And you can get it at Wild Fork Meat and Seafood Market. You know what's a location I love. It's the Wiley location, one of the 9 DW locations. I was just there a couple of weeks ago. I got myself some New York strip steak, as you can see right there. They got every cut of meat that you're looking for, whether you love beef, whether you love turkey, whether you love chicken. They got shrimp. They got everything that you need in your bold Texan flavor available at Wild Fork Meat and Seafood Market. They've also got delivery options as well. So you can go to wildforkfoods.com, check out everything that they have. They've got sides as well. If you're looking for some bread to go along with your surf and turf, you're looking for some dessert, like Bobby's favorite, the key lime pie. They got everything that you need, know, and love. So head to wildforkfoods.com for their delivery options or one of their 9 DFW locations around the Metroplex, and check out the best meat and seafood market in the game today with Wild Fork Foods.
A big, gigantic, jumbo-sized, world-sized soccer tournament is coming to the entire continent.
That's right.
This summer. But 9 of those games are going to be played right here in Dallas. In total, it is estimated that more than 5 million fans are going to attend a game at some point during the World Cup. That is a figure from Deloitte. And short-term rental hosts are expected to reach nearly $212 million in earnings during the tournament. If you live in DFW and you're not planning on being home, or maybe you got another place to stay and you want to turn your property into a short-term rental during the World Cup, potentially put some money in your pocket, save up for your kids fund or your kids' college fund, maybe even go on a trip, well, head to airdna.co/Mavs. Again, airdna.co/Mavs. Check out their free World Cup calculator. Type in your address. It will give you an estimate of what you could make if you turn your home into a short-term rental. There will be games in the group stages all the way up to the semifinals here. There's a lot of opportunity to put cash in your pocket. Again, airdna.co/Mavs today.
Welcome back to the DLLS Mavs post-game show. Appreciate you hanging out with us here. Mavericks get clobbered 138-105 tonight as Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and James Harden simply took over tonight. Cooper Flagg did have 25 points, 13 in the third quarter, and a bit of a bounce-back game for him. So good to see that for Cooper Flagg. These two teams will get together again on Sunday in Cleveland at 2:30 on Sunday.
That one's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. You know who's not rough? Pause. No, I'm joking. Let's go to the American Airlines Center. Welcome in our DLLS.
You've had some pretty interesting intros for Ron both times today.
He's smooth. He's smooth. He's a smooth guy.
Speaking of Chris Middleton.
That's right. Ron Harrod Jr. joining us on the program. Ron, what's going on?
Nothing too much. I think Ryan Nimhard is speaking now. I had to get out there right, I think, before he came, because I hate like walking out like mid someone doing their press conference. So usually I try to leave like 5-ish minutes early so I'm not stuck, because I've gotten stuck a couple times trying to hold on to the last minute. So yeah, but Coop talked today. Nimhard's talking now. Of course, Jason Kidd talked. The mood didn't seem too low. I mean, at this point, they've lost so many games. It's probably not like, I'm not gonna say they're used to losing, but it probably isn't like as drastic as your first losing streak. Coop actually, Coop had, a positive offensive game. I think for him, that probably just felt a little, good for him. But also, before the game, he was signing, autographs for some kids, and they were calling him, Mr. Coop or Mr. Flagg. And he was asked, like, what is that like to be, Mr. Flagg or Mr. Cooper, like, 19 years old? And I think that made him laugh. He's talked about he used to be one of those kids. Like he was a kid that used to wait in the tunnel looking for an autograph. For him, it's probably like Kevin Garnett or Paul Pierce that he was trying to get that autograph from. Being from where he's from. So I think he just still feels like I want to do something for the kids because that used to be me. Then Flagg also talked about playing with Ryan Nembhard. I just was interested, like some of your best games are with Ryan Nembhard getting some decent minutes, and he just said Nembhard's just a floor general. There was a play that stood out to me. I think it was in the second quarter. Cooper Nembhard on the left wing. Coop had James Harden on, which would I guess like quote unquote is a mismatch. He decided not to go at Harden. He threw the ball back to Nembhard. Nembhard like yelled something at him like, you're getting the ball again. Do this. He ran around like a wrap screen, got the ball, ended up missing the three. But like overall, like there's no other player on the Mavs that is not thinking about just scoring the ball themselves in that situation. Nembhard's like, nah, I'm good actually. Let's take Coop the shot that the team wants. And he stopped the possession and got Coop the shot. And I feel like that alone is why he should just play more minutes with Flagg. Because he's the only player on this team that probably has done that this season.
And it does seem like they were cameras cutting to the bench a lot, because we had both broadcasts on, so we had a lot of color shots, and basically every time we cut to the bench, Coop and Nembhard were talking to each other, or like stoppages on the court, they're talking to each other. Like it seems like they're developing at least a little bit of rapport.
Yeah, they're close. Yeah, Ryan Nembhard and Cooper Flagg, and they've been close throughout their rookie years. So yeah, tonight and what will be on Sunday is just to be quite honest, is a horrible matchup for this team. I mean, the guard play for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's something we've talked about on this show all year long when it comes to this team. Dynamic guards have given the Mavericks problems all year long, whether it's Cleveland, Philadelphia with their two guards, obviously with Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. I mean, you take your pick. Dynamic guards have torched this team all year long, and tonight was no different. Anything else of note that was said from postgame tonight, real quick?
Oh, well, one, just I left my seat a little early before the game was over, and I happened to catch Najee Marshall. Like I was behind him, I couldn't ask him anything. I wish I was close to him. I would just ask him what happened. Why was he in the tunnel before the clock hit zero? It's maybe 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So I asked Jason Kidd. He acted pretty confused. He was like, oh, I just took him out the game. So I was like, oh, maybe he's fine. But Jason Kidd said, Najee's fine. So I thought that was just interesting. If Mavs fans saw him leave the game, it wasn't an injury or anything. At least according to Jason Kidd, he's fine.
Maybe he had to take another poopy like before.
Maybe. I just literally I just saw him in the tunnel. He was by himself with a security guard. He was walking pretty regular. Again, I had left, so I didn't know if something had happened that I missed. But Jason Kidd said he was fine. So just again, I'm just saying, if Mavs fans were looking for him at the end of the game, that's where he was. But he is fine.
Okay. He did not tweet about it. So
okay.
Granted, the last time he tweeted about having to leave the game early, the Mavs won by 30.
That's true.
So it's slightly different, vibes. Ron, I wanted to ask you a quick question. Before the game, you had a tweet from Kenny Atkinson, coach of the Cavs. I you need to give me a little more context here, because he went onto the Katy Trail. You said he called it the best trail in the world, and he said that everyone on there is really fit. Now, is Kenny Atkinson just mega horny, or what's the situation here?
So one, I didn't think that tweet would go as locally viral as it did, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, I think that was unprovoked. I don't think anyone asked him. That was the first. I couldn't record it because I was not prepared. He walked into the room. He said in the exact seat that I'm sitting in right now, and I think everyone's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing, Kenny?" or something like that. He said, man, I love Dallas, blah blah blah. Then I was on the Katy Trail this morning. It's one of the best trails. It's a beautiful trail. It's a great trail for people watching. And somebody else said, yeah, it's great for people watching. I think it was one of the Mavs sideline reporters. And he just kind of talked about Dallas and liking the trail. And he said he went there today and walked, and that was it. And he was smiling. It was glee. He was elated to tell this story. Again,
It is a nice trail, honestly. And the weather here today was beautiful.
It was great. Yeah, it was great.
Beautiful
weather. Yeah,
It was.
Well, shout out, respect to Kenny Atkinson.
And I mean, I gotta say, a lot of people on that trail are in really good shape, and it is kind of intimidating for me as someone that's shrimpy. No one wants to see me take my shirt off. A lot of chest hair and not a lot of muscle or anything. It's just sadness underneath here. So it is a little intimidating.
I'm also not taking my shirt off.
It's just a bunch of hots walking and biking and running past you in both directions. You're like, God, like.
Can I get the?
Could be a little overstimulated
here. Can I get that as a drop, please? Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's just sadness under here.
Yeah, I need that as a drop. I definitely need that as a drop. Daniel, thank you so much for your enthusiasm. We appreciate you. We appreciate you in the chat.
Yeah. Also, KG's boy, Micah Parsons, was in the house. He was with near Ruben Bain Jr., hopefully future Dallas Cowboy. I thought that was really interesting. I actually missed Bain in the original video that I posted, but Micah, he sits at those same seats, so I'm going to assume he either has his tickets or maybe it must be his seats because he sits there every time. So yeah, the man clearly loves Dallas, Texas, and Jerry Jones, I would never forgive you.
His arms were long enough to shake Micah's hand.
I guess so. They were pretty close.
He did come to a Mavs game one time wearing a was it a Warriors jersey? What jersey was he wearing?
Micah. Micah has shown up in a Sixers
jersey.
Curry.
I think he went to didn't he go to a Mavs playoffs game wearing a?
I don't know. I know he showed up in Philadelphia wearing a Sixers jersey one time. We was like, "What the hell are you doing?" Basketball players and football players and jerseys
Show
around
us where
here.
Your loyalties lie.
Been a little weird.
Come on.
Like when Anthony Davis was here, he would show up in a Packers uniform, jersey every now and then. I mean, obviously we know he was a Packers fan because him and Randall Cobb went to Kentucky together. He picked a football team.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, which is fine, but also it's a little weird optics.
But it doesn't. I mean, that is less weird than showing up to a Mavs game wearing a jersey of the team that the Mavs are playing.
Yeah,
whenever he 99% of the time he shows up in a Mavs jersey, and it's like, oh no, time to rep my real team tonight.
Micah didn't ever want to leave here, man. He just stayed around here because he never wanted to leave. Bleep Jerry Jones, man.
He didn't.
Anyway. I wanted to get into this conversation before we let you go here in the last few minutes that we have with you. ESPN, we were discussing the ESPN article that was put out today. NBA executives and scouts discussing the prospects going into the NCAA tournament. And where we left off was with the guards. We talked about Caleb Wilson. We talked about Cameron Boozer, DeBonta, and Darren Peterson. But some interesting discussion around the guards. So the next title of the piece that's in here is that after number 4, multiple guards joined the discussion. And obviously the names Kingston Flemings, Keaton Wagler, Darius Acuff from Arkansas, and Mikael Brown are the hot names as far as the guard position. Multiple sources telling Windhorst and Bontemps say the quote, multiple sources compared Kingston Fleming's top end speed and quickness with the ball to a former MVP, with one saying, quote, Derrick Rose had the ability to turn the corner and get a clean layup. Another E-Scout said, you don't see that often, and Kingston has that, end quote.
He does not.
Oh, you don't believe that he has the Derrick Rose type of quickness?
Wow. No, I mean, as we all know, I'm very biased, and I love Kingston Flemings because I covered him in high school. And I want him to win. He comes from a great family. But he's not Derrick Rose athletic. I don't want Mavs fans to, overly hype that part. I think he is
just
athletic.
Quickness, I think. He's just saying, first step. Obviously not the leaping.
Yeah, not the leaping, but he's talking about, quick first step and the ability to turn the corner and get to the bucket that reminds them of.
Derrick Rose was just such a freak that it just scares me to put that expectation on a player. Derrick Rose was like Dwayne Wade Rose when if you blinked, they were past you with the ball in their hand. Kingston is a really, really good athlete. I don't know if he's an elite athlete. I'm not sure if he has an elite first step. Again, I'm not saying he's slow or anything. I think he's fast. But Derrick Rose is if there's 2K, there's a purple badge, and it's called the Hall of Fame badge on 2K. Kingston would be the gold badge, which is the badge right below Hall of Fame on 2K for quick first step, which is, believe it or not, everybody, a 2K badge.
Oh, very
talking about a lot of video games.
Yeah,
stuff.
a lot of video.
Really
you're talking about Pokemon, a Savannah.
Yeah, it's the real video game.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay, wow.
So
Our King says that Ron is right on that level of athlete. I see more of a Maxey Fox combo with Kingston.
Okay, so
Those guys are really fast.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
a West
Fox is a
Scout.
blur. Like Fox is crazy fast.
Yeah,
I mean, if Fleming's like that, shoo.
and a West Scout saying of Kingston Fleming's quote, "He's shown he can do everything you need to do as a point guard in their 2-guard system. He checks all the boxes, smart, makes teammates better, positional size, can shoot, and an engaged defender." Which I think
Great.
reminds me a little bit of Maxey in that way. Fox has never been accused of being a great defender in the league, but it's interesting that they said that. Now, the last one I'll get to because I know we got to go to break here. They discussed Keaton Wagler a little bit, of course, out of Illinois. And he's kind of burst onto the scene as the season has gone on and really kind of taken the draft, scouts and everyone by storm. And at 6'6", his positional size should allow him to adjust to the NBA game, with one E-Scout saying, quote, "Wagler's flown up the board. He has a Tyrese Halliburton profile in a way. Weird shot, fast riser. I like him. He definitely has the size. If someone took him at 5, I could see it," end quote. Which I find it to be interesting because I personally kind of want a guy that's kind of in the Halliburton type of mode, got some size. Obviously, he's got a funky little shot. But if you can give me that kind of positional size at the guard position and he's got some defensive chops, I mean, we're seeing in the NBA, I mean, for example, the Atlanta Hawks, bunch of athletes that can guard, defend. Jalen Johnson's kind of really running the show for them and, turn himself into a real star. Keaton Wagler is interesting. I know our guy Isaac Harris loves his Keaton Wagler from Illinois. But I thought that comparison was very interesting because I kind of want a guard in the Tyrese Halliburton mode that it's got a little bit of, defensive chops. Not going to be a traffic cone on that end of the floor that can make guys better, but have that kind of positional size. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wagler and Flemings are good playing with other guards. So I think that make Bobby Carella very happy. That I think both of them are capable of playing next to Kyrie Irving because we've literally seen like Wagler technically was a 2-guard to start the year and played with another point guard. So we know literally he can do it. Kingston again played with essentially another point guard, and they both have success off the ball. It's like both of them don't need the ball to succeed, which is also I think why Kingston's probably liked by a lot of the scouts. He does have like a lot of the Drew Holiday, Derek White kind of vibe of like I can play with other great players and not take away from their game. And I think Wagler kind of has that too. Where like they can't be like the best player on a championship team, but like if they're your 2, your 3, like you're really starting to cook down a roster of really, really good players alongside your number 1 superstar.
I mean, look at OKC. Last night they beat Boston. They had 4 guards out there like the entire game, basically.
Yeah.
You just give me a bunch of 6'5" guys, 6'6" guys that are not afraid to defend anybody, and I will give you a team that's going to win 60 games.
Yeah, that's why Wagler's interesting to me because I'm like, I wonder, from a defensive standpoint, what he's got on that end of the floor. So yeah, Ron, appreciate the time, man. We will talk to you on Sunday. You'll be back in studio with us on Sunday.
Woo!
Yes.
All right, man. We'll talk to
See
you
you
Sunday.
Friday.
Bye, Ron.
Let's take our final break here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. When we come back, we'll take a spin around Tankathon. I want to tell you a little bit about Darius Acuff as well. What NBA
Fire up the tank.
what scouts had to say about him as well. We'll do that next.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, Tanner.
Hello.
How are you? We don't ask Tanner. Well, never mind. We asked Tanner how he is. Well, Tanner, first off, how are you?
I'm good.
That's
Good.
good. Kevin, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
That's good.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. And hopefully all of our diehards are good. Well, hopefully everyone in chat is good. All right?
For sure.
Hopefully all of the 41,000 subs on our channel are good. Hopefully everyone that's ever liked, commented, shared, reposted, Instagrammed. I don't know. What do you call the thing on Instagram? It'll be like, is it just a repost?
Repost. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully anyone that's ever engaged with our stuff is doing great. But especially our diehards, if you want to become a diehard, scan that QR code right there. Go to alldlls.com. Is it the draft one? What are we doing right now? Yeah, we got
Free agency frenzy.
Yeah, the NFL free agency frenzy. Jeez, dude. Okay. There's also going to be a draft sale, I'm sure. Fran Duffy's Die Hard Draft Guide is around. There's a link in the description for that. There's so many. It's also Ranger Spring Training.
It is.
We got a spring training sale.
That's right.
Basically, any sports event is going to be attached to a sale on our Die Hard membership. Right now, it is $3 Buckaroos a month, so $36 up front. When you sign up, you get a free shirt of your choice. We got more than 50 to choose from. They are all awesome. You also get to read our entire website. All the written stuff from Ron Harrod Jr. on Mavs, Clarence Hill on Cowboys, Sam Nessler on Stars, and Jeff Wilson on the Rangers. Jeff's about to go back to Arizona.
Oh, let's go.
We're about, 2 weeks from yesterday?
Less than 2 weeks.
2 weeks from Wednesday, I think.
Opening day.
Opening day is right around the corner. If you want to stay up to speed on all this stuff, again, throughout NFL free agency, NHL playoff run about to come up, Mavs lottery, Rangers season. You get the membership for the entire year. You also get access to our DLS Discord, a great place to hang out with fellow diehards, and you get a physical diehard card. Folks, so many reasons to become a diehard. Thank you to every single one of you who have.
Our pregame show on Sunday will be at 2 p.m. as the Mavericks will travel to Cleveland now to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second game of their baseball series. 2 games in 3 days. Mavericks playing 4 games in 5 days. And they will take on Cleveland on Sunday. Again, our pregame show will be at 2 p.m. with tip-off at 2:30 as the Mavericks take on the Cavs. Before we get to our Tankathon spin, I'll finish up here with what NBA scouts, executives across the league have been discussing when it comes to the top NBA prospects going into the NCAA tournament. Selection Sunday, just in a couple of days as conference tournaments finish up. I'll have to check to see what's going on in the Kansas-Houston game and see what's happening in Kansas City there. Arizona advanced to the Big 12 championship game. They'll meet the winner of Kansas and Houston tonight in Kansas City on Sunday afternoon. We talked about Keaton Waugler a little bit. Wanted to finish up on the last one that was discussed in this particular piece that ESPN dropped, courtesy of Brian Windhorst and Tim Bontemps. And that's Darius Acuff. Darius Acuff Jr., who's out of Arkansas, was the SEC freshman and player of the year for John Calipari and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Been a polarizing player, but I want to give you a couple quotes of what some executives and scouts have said about Acuff, who is averaging 22 points per game and over 6 assists and shooting nearly 44% from 3 for Arkansas this year, with one executive saying from the East saying, quote, "The guy who is most ready to play in the NBA right now is Acuff. If you didn't know anything other than watching him play, you'd think he was a 4-year player. That's how smooth he is," end quote. It's kind of high praise for a guy that's a freshman and has played the way that he is. By the way, Art King says that Houston's at 40-25. Oh, Kansas, good gracious, destroying him. Wow.
No, the Rockets already won.
He's talking about the Houston Cougars.
Yeah.
The Cougars went on 11-0 run there. Okay. That's pretty high praise from an exec discussing Acuff, that he's ready to play right now and looks like a veteran that could be out there if he stepped on the floor. Another scout saying, or just the ACC coach, that said, quote, "Acuff is like a bigger Darius Garland, a high-level scorer who knows how to use ball screens and make plays for others," end quote. Interesting as far as that comparison is concerned.
Interesting comp.
A bigger Darius Garland. Evan says, "I trust Calipari guards." I tend to do so as well. I mean, he's had a pretty good hit rate, has Calipari on guards. I mean, the only ones he really missed on in the last, 15 years or so. Rob Dillingham, that it hasn't worked out all that great, but I mean, you go down the line, you even go back to the Memphis days with speaking of Derrick Rose, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, like take any number of guards, John Wall. Yeah, Calipari's record for guards kind of speaks for itself. The last one I'll mention real quick is Mikel Brown, of course, out of Louisville, is kind of the other hot name as far as the guards are concerned, with an Eastern Conference scout saying, quote, "I like the Louisville kid. He's really smooth, though I think he's more of a combo guard than a pure point guard, but the back stuff is a concern," end quote.
Ooh, back stuff.
Yeah, when it comes to
dun. This is gonna come down to some medicals.
I mean,
some concerning medicals.
I mean, obviously at the top of the draft, we're gonna find out about Darren Peterson, what's been going on with him all year long. Which,
dude, are we?
I would think so. I think he would want to get this stuff cleared up.
Maybe after he's drafted.
I mean,
I mean, it'll be around teams now. Teams can leak stuff, I guess. It's like really, really shady.
It's
to
grimy.
Do that.
Yeah.
Eventually, something will come out, though. Probably
For sure.
Yeah.
But that process is going to be very interesting because he's going to be polarizing enough because of not just his play, but what was going on all year long that had him in and out of the lineup. Why wasn't he playing at certain times? And when he did play, we saw some extremely high-level basketball. I mean, one of the best games that he had all year is when he went head-to-head with A.J. DeBonson. He was the best player on the floor that day between Kansas and BYU. So, yeah, the top of the draft is going to be very, very interesting. We know how you feel because it's A.J. DeBonson for you at this particular point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the guy that I want.
Yeah.
I would be happy with anyone in the top 4. I don't know. I need to watch the guards more. I don't love the idea of like this is going to be the last pick that they have for a really long time that's going to be any good. I don't love the idea of like, well, yeah, let's just get a guard because Kyrie eventually is going to age out. You know, they need wings and they need shooting and they need scoring now. Sure, they do need more playmaking. So if a guard is the best player, then sure, I guess. But man, they just need a 6'7", 6'8" guy that can shoot. They need a 6'5" guy that can defend multiple positions. They do need a guy that can handle the ball. They also need a guy that can get rebounds. Like they need a lot of stuff. So
yeah.
I don't know. That's why I really like personally prefer versatile guys over guys that are going to be position locked. Now, granted, some of these guards in that range are a little taller. They're not like 6'1". They're like 6'4", 6'5". So there is some of that versatility there, maybe. But yeah, I don't give the tiebreaker to height in the way that like 25 years ago they would say, okay, he's 7 feet, we got to take him.
Sure.
But if a guy's 6'8" and a guy's 6'4" and they're both pretty much just as good, I'm leaning 6'8" just every time, you know.
Yeah, the one I'm going to start to watch a little bit more is the Wagler thing. Like I said, I know Isaac Harris loves him from Illinois, but I kind of want a guard with some size who's going to be able to play make, who can defend. Because, I mean, the level of athlete in today's NBA and size is needed. And if you can find that in a guard who can shoot a little bit, maybe defensive point of attack, I'm interested in that. Because some of these other guards are on the smaller-ish side. But Acuff, I mean, that cat's a pure scorer from Arkansas. He could put it in the basket. He's really good at that. A lot of draft intrigue will be discussed over the next couple of months. Conference tournaments in this weekend, Selection Sunday. In a couple days, the NCAA tournament beginning later on next week. We will be watching intentfully here at DLS Mavs because the Mavericks are careening toward a top 5, top 6 pick as we get to the Tankathon spin for tonight.
Well, they were in 6th when the show started, and now, unfortunately, Tanner, I think you got to hit it with a Command R or a Control R. Yeah, unfortunately, they're back down to 7th, where they have a 32% chance at a top 4 pick and a 7.5% chance at the number 1 overall pick. They have moved down, Kevin, 4 spins in a row. Nice. Official spins. Unofficially, yesterday they moved up twice.
Right, unofficially.
Officially, 4 straight move downs. Is today the day that their fortunes are reversed?
Whew, we need something good to happen after what happened tonight. Good
we
gracious.
do. We had to watch that atrocity.
Yeah, we have to do it again on Sunday. I'll say they move up.
I agree.
I say they move up. All right, well, let's do it. Our Tankathon spin, Tanner, in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Good vibes in the air. Good vibes
Yes.
in the air. They take your man Caleb Wilson. There's the confetti. Yes, there is.
Let's go.
Confetti. There we go. In this particular spin,
Dude, we were due. Come on.
Yeah, we were due. Darren Peterson goes 1 to Utah. Okay. AJ DeBonta goes number 2 to Brooklyn.
Him and MPJ just like gonna each average 42 shots per game next year.
I mean, why not?
I love it, dude. They
don't need
just trade MPJ.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need any guards. Like, they don't need any guards in Brooklyn. Cameron Boozer goes 3 to the Atlanta Hawks via the New Orleans Pelicans.
I don't like that fit. I don't think the Hawks would do that at all. And you already got Jalen Johnson. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
How many forwards do you need? You know, like the whole team would just be forwards.
And he's kind of a tweener. He's not
Yeah, he's a 4 just like
Yeah,
Jalen is.
yeah.
I mean, Jalen is like a 4 that plays 1, but,
Yeah, because
kind of overlapping skill sets there.
Jalen can go.
Although, I mean, if you're Atlanta and you have the 3rd pick and Cam Boozer's there, you're probably like, yeah, does anyone in the league want this guy?
Yeah,
Just give us all of your stuff.
Yeah,
and,
pretty much. Yeah. Would you switch places with Atlanta if you're Dallas?
I mean, it depends on what they would want. I'd be happy with.
I don't know if y'all ever said we're Dallas.
Oh, sorry.
games.
Dallas
yeah.
is at 4.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They take Caleb Wilson at 4.
Sorry, audio listener.
Would you want to switch places with Atlanta and say, hey, we'll go to 3?
Sure, yeah, but I mean, Atlanta would want something from you.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the idea of a Coop, Caleb front court. Just like the attitude of that team, I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty fun to watch. Skill set overlap, I don't know. I'm not as sure about that, but I do think it would be a lot of fun to watch those guys play. I think they'd be like the Bash Brothers on defense.
Yeah.
Just flying around like freaks and then getting out and running on offense. I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch.
And plus, you add another Duke Blue Devil to the mix in Dallas.
Well, Boozer, but not
That's what I'm
Caleb.
saying. Like if you switch positions.
Yeah, I was talking about.
Oh,
Caleb.
Wilson, yeah. Oh man, that's a bad situation for Indiana. So they slipped to 5, which means that pick goes to the Los Angeles Clippers, and they would take Kingston Flemings. That'd be interesting, actually. But they got Darius Garland, so I wonder if they would take.
3 teams moved down 4 spots.
Dude, oh my
That'd be
God, the
wild.
Wizards are all the way down to 7th.
The Kings down to 6.
Damn, the Kings go to 6. They take
Oh,
Keaton Wagler.
dude, the Kings have moved down 4 spots,
That
like
would be so
4 or
fun.
5
The
spins in a
irony,
row.
though-
all 3 moved down.
Well, look, the
Wow.
irony of the Kings taking a Keaton Wagler type who's had the comparisons to Tyrese Halliburton. Like, the irony there. To finish out the top 10, Nae'Qwan going 7 to Washington. Darius Acuff. Actually, I don't mind that. Him going to the Grizzlies. Mikael Brown going to Chicago. They could use a point guard.
Yeah, now we've talked about before, if the Mavs are at 4 and it's the first 3 that go and Caleb is on the board, would the Mavs be like, okay, well, someone is going to want to wing. Let's trade down.
Yeah.
And get either another first rounder or maybe a young guy or something. It really feels like being number 1 overall, being number 4 overall, and being number 5 overall is like very commanding positions.
I would agree
in
with
this
that.
draft.
I
And
would
maybe
agree
like
with that.
like 8 if someone wants the last guard, or 9, like if someone really wants that last guard before it goes to like Ahmet and some bigs. There's some like swing spots in this draft where if you fall, I think it's pretty powerful.
That's why I've said, like, if you can get to 5 and 5 or better, you're in a really strong position because once you get to 5, you have your choice. If you're bent on getting a guard, you'll have your choice of any of those guards that you want. And obviously, if you get into the top 4 now, you're at minimum getting one of Peterson, DeBonta, Boozer, or Wilson if you decide that's the route you want to go. Because I don't think any of those guards will go in the top 4. I think the consensus is Peterson, DeBonta, Wilson, and Boozer will go in the top 4 in some order or fashion there. At number 30, the Mavericks take, because of course they have the second first-round pick.
Ibuka Okori?
Corey?
That's my guess.
From Stanford. He's a
Tunde
point
went,
guard.
22nd? He's climbing.
Is your man starting to climb back
He's
up a
climbing.
little bit? Tunde Yesufu?
He's climbing.
Back-to-back Baylor, Tunde, then Cameron Carr.
There you go.
Okay.
We got to get Tanner a Hawks jersey and a Nuggets jersey.
Where did Braden Burries go in this one? Oh, wow.
The Thunder.
Damn. Oh, and they got back-to-back picks with 14 and 15? By the way, there's an interesting situation starting to develop. We talked about this before we got on the show. So the Philadelphia 76ers are kind of slipping right now. In fact, they're 9th in the East, clinging to a play-in spot. It's them and Charlotte at 9 and 10. Of course, they're dealing with some injuries right now with, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, missing time. Paul George still isn't back for them. As of right now, the Sixers are actually in the lottery, and that pick is owed to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So if you want something else to be intrigued by over the final 4 weeks of the season, watch what happens to the Philadelphia 76ers and how much they slip, because there's a potential of them dropping a little bit further, and that means that pick would continue to improve as the rest of the regular season goes on, which means the Thunder would have a chance to move up in the draft. So, yeah, you might want to pay attention to that over the final 4 weeks of the season. Let's get to the super chat before we get out of here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's super chat.
Little
go ahead.
Nesso.
That's for you, Bobby.
Little Nesso, the $2 super. Bobby, I keep watching for your Pokemon analogies. I'm going to need to cook some up. For those who don't know, on the pregame show, I've been giving tank reports for, I don't know, like 2 months now, basically.
Pretty much.
Instead of talking about the other team, I'm just educating our esteemed panel, as well as you, the lovely viewer, on various types of tanks. And I'm running out of kinds of tanks. And so the last 2 shows, I've talked about Miltank and Skuntank. Unfortunately, there are no more Pokemon that have tank in their name. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for Sunday. But I have tomorrow to figure it out.
You do. As we are off tomorrow, but we will be back on Sunday. Our pregame show will begin at 2 p.m. right here on DLLS Sports, as tip-off will be at 2:30, as the Mavericks will take on the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland after getting blown out tonight, 138-105. No, that Sixers pick is not protected, Evan.
Yeah, it is. 1 through 4.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1 through 4, but yes, but clearly they're outside of that right now. So
they have to get real
and they're not
lucky
going
in
to
the
slip.
lottery.
Yeah, obviously they're not going to slip. So yeah, that pick is going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It just depends on how far they fall. But appreciate all of you hanging out with us here on the DLS Mavs postgame show. Shout out to our guy Tanner making us look good inside as always. Thank you, sir. Appreciate our guy Harrod Jr, our DLS Mavs beat writer, for joining us live from the AAC. That's our DLLS Mavs analyst Bobby Krill.
And that's our fearless host, Kevin Gray.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Enjoy the day off tomorrow. We'll talk to you Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.